Well, let's find out more now about how the talks with the IMF are going and what progress has been made with regards to the Lebanese economy. We can speak now to Lebanon's Minister of Finance, Yassine Jaber, who joins us from Beirut. Minister, thank you very much indeed for taking the time to speak to us. You've been in office since February of last year. You're part of Prime Minister Nawaf Salam's Reform and Rescue government. And we've reached a really key moment, haven't we? Because the IMF is there in Beirut. How are the talks going?
Well, quite well, quite well. It's not the first time here. They've been here a few times since we took over. And actually, they are present in Beirut permanently because they do have an office in Beirut, a permanent office. And we're constantly in touch with them. I mean, we just don't wait for a few months to meet them, you know. We're constantly in touch with them, either through their office in Beirut or virtually, or we have met them in Davos, we've met them in Dubai, in Washington. So the relationship is ongoing, and these meetings and negotiations are ongoing. Now they're here for a visit for the week, and they have been visiting, various departments in the Ministry of Finance, in the Bank de Liban, Central Bank of Lebanon, and they also meet the private sector. And I could say that, yeah, we're making progress, as we go on with our reforms and as we go on with, getting a better fiscal discipline and getting things in order. We've managed this year in 2025 to achieve a primary surplus in our budget, which is a good indication of the reforms that are taking place. So, yes, I mean, the final meetings with them on the higher level will be starting tomorrow and Friday. But the staff meetings are ongoing all the time.
Okay, so it sounds like the Lebanese economy...
We met actually also, may I add, sorry?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I said we also met in Davos, Mrs. Georgieva, the chair of the IMF. It was a good meeting, and she had a small interview a couple of days ago, and she also indicated that things are moving forward quite, nicely.
It sounds as though the Lebanese economy has started to turn the corner, I think it's fair to say, judging from what you're saying and looking at the latest indicators. But you've been quoted as saying this IMF delegation visit comes at a critical time. And there have been lots of critical moments for Lebanon. Why is this such a critical time?
Because we are hoping to come to a conclusion. We have to come to the beginning of an agreement. So it's critical because it's very important to make every effort to make this visit successful. And also, as you know, I mean, I say these things not only for international reasons, I say them also for local reasons, because also, as you know, there's a lot of demands for wage increase, for more expenditure. And I always say, listen, guys, we are moving forward, we are improving our revenues, etc. But we have to be very careful on the decisions we take. We cannot, make any fast decisions or quick decisions without really calculating very well what are the consequences. So just from the point of view of making people aware of that we are actually as you said about to turn a corner. So we want to make sure we turn it positively, and we turn it carefully.
Okay, so it sounds like there's been a fragile recovery. I think that's how some economists are describing what's happened since the technocratic government came to power at the beginning of last year. What sort of growth are you expecting for 2026, and which sectors of the economy are showing most promise?
Well, actually, before talking about that, I just want to remind everybody, your audience, and that you have to always look at from a point of view of where did Lebanon come from since 6 years. I mean, we have had 6 years in hell. We've had a banking crisis, we've had a default on our foreign debt, we've had a an explosion that wrecked, the center of the city of Beirut and the port. We've had COVID like everyone else, but then we're followed by political vacuum, and then we had the war. Well, we're hoping that it will be a good year, around 4 or 5% growth. I think the industrial sector is doing well. Tourism is doing well. The Lebanese diaspora, they're sending remittances back home. They're visiting. There's a lot of possibilities of new investment. Construction is also doing well. And we are starting a program of private-public partnerships. So we're starting with some assets, public assets, like an airport in the north, which has just been announced as a PPP project, and it drew quite good interest. We had about 27 companies, showing interest to take part of that project. There's a lot of projects lined up. We're also starting to pump money in some parts of reconstruction in the infrastructure in parts of the country that were, kind of either destroyed or damaged by the recent attacks last year and the year before. So there is actually good prospects for the coming year, 2026.
That's good to hear, because it's been a horrendous time for the Lebanese people. Large swathes of the population have been plunged into poverty. And for many savers, they've not been able to access their bank deposits for more than 6 years. Now, draft legislation is on the table to try to change that situation. A very basic question: when will the first of the small depositors be able to access their money in the bank?
Most of these, depositors for the past years have been getting some money out, up to, they started with $400, now they're getting up to $1,000 and so on. But this is not a solution. So this government decided to really put a permanent solution for this crisis that has happened, as you said, 6 years ago. So we introduced this draft of the law that will provide a roadmap of how to get off the mess we got ourselves into in 2019. So the important issue in actually what we want to do is, first of all, try to get rid of the cash economy, which became normal because of the banking crisis. So we want the banks to be back in the economy, operating and trusted by the public. We are going to be providing, a solution through the central bank for the depositors. In the first 4 years, all depositors, all accounts under $100,000 will be paid in full, and that's about 85% of the depositors will be getting their money back in full in 4 years. And then there's a roadmap for the rest. Those over 100,000, they will get their first 100,000 with others, and then the rest will be paid in installments between 5 up to 20 years, depending on the amount. But they will be provided with asset-backed securities from the Central Bank of Lebanon. So they will be in a much better state than they are at the moment, because at the moment, a depositor doesn't know what's the state of his bank. We are going to be auditing all the banks, we're going to be auditing the central bank, and we are going to be requiring all the banks to really recapitalize, and those who can't recapitalize will have to either merge or call it a day. So the law, hopefully when it comes out, will help, start putting things on track to get out of the mess we got ourselves into back in 2019.
Now, in terms of the talks that are taking place with the IMF and that delegation that's in town, the timing is interesting, because we've just got the latest Corruption Perceptions Index figures, which are published by Transparency International. Lebanon ranks 153rd out of 182 countries, indicating severe public sector corruption. How is that going to be stamped out, Minister?
And it's, if we weren't in that place, do you think we will have such a crisis? I mean, yeah, there was a lot of corruption that took place, and that corruption helped Lebanon get into the mess it got itself into. Of course, I mean, this government took over exactly almost a year, on the 8th of February 2025. During this year, a lot of changes are taking place, and I think if you ask anybody in Lebanon, he can assure you that this year there was a lot of improvement in the environment of doing business and trying to eliminate corruption. There will be more and more effort. Plus, the judiciary is now starting to move on to open the files of corruption. There are ex-ministers who are now, being charged with corruption and asked to pay millions of dollars back for things that they have done. There's one of the ministers went to jail, the other flew the country. So there is an effort to really make sure that things do change. We are also, sending, dealing with tax evasion. I'm sending them to court. I mean, there's a lot of effort now in every part of doing business in Lebanon. In customs, for example, we're stamping on. A lot of people are going to jail if they prove to be corrupt. So there's a big effort at the moment, and we hope, fingers crossed, that things can move forward and make things much better. Hopefully, I hope that in the coming year or two, we will be much up on the scale that you just mentioned.
Okay, we look forward to seeing that. Now, you've been quoted as saying that Lebanon needs stability in order to attract investment. Now, that stability is contingent on your neighbor Israel. It's contingent on Hezbollah. Now, the United States wants to see progress with regards to disarming Hezbollah and cutting off funding for Hezbollah. And yet, a new gold exchange, well, a gold exchange has been identified by the Americans. It's called Jud Sal. It's part of the Al-Qard Al-Hassan, which is suspected of facilitating Iranian financial assistance to Hezbollah. What is the Lebanese government doing to ensure that all mechanisms of this kind are fully cut off?
Well, as you know, I mean, the central bank is introducing a lot of KYC measures on all financial institutions. Yes, I agree with you that we need stability. And unfortunately, the perception, as I said in the beginning of my interview, the perception abroad is that Lebanon still has kind of instability, especially in the south of the country.
Okay, we appear to have had a bit of trouble with the line there, but we'd like to thank Lebanon's Minister of Finance, Yassine Jaber, for joining us here on Al Arabiya English.